All right, so these are the exceptions. This is almost like it's asking a question without asking the question. They're telling us right here they want an intersection. And they want the intersection of these two inequalities. Okay? So I'm going to first just do what they're telling me to do. Okay? So the first one, x is less than 5. I start at the 5. It's an open circle, and I'm going here. Okay? Now the second one says x is less than 3. Which of these two colors or two lines really tells us about the intersection? Nathan.
I remember we did this. It's x is less than 3.
X is less than 3 because it includes only the overlapping parts. It is the inequality that includes only the overlapping parts. Okay, so we're using this inequality in blue because it includes the overlap. It's the only inequality that describes the overlapping part. Does that make sense? April? Okay, so let's try. So I'm only going to use that part of the graph when I show my teacher, and I'm only going to use that equation. And when we put it into Set Builder, it looks like this. Because that x is less than 3 really includes the overlapping part. Yes?
Sorry, what's it? I've seen it like over again and again, but like in between the two x's.
That means such that. Now, we can either do the colon or we can do a line. Either one. It means the same thing. Okay? So now, let's go to the next one. We're going to graph it. I would be writing this and taking notes on these. So now I'm doing x is less than, okay, now we are doing x is less than 5. So I'm starting here, I'm open circle. Okay, so as we're doing this, x is less than 5. And then I'm going to graph the other one, x is less than 3. Now this time it's asking for what? What is it asking for? Hayden.
The union.
The union. Which inequality describes the union? Nicholas. X is less than 5, the red one. And so it would be only the red line, right? We would get rid of that blue line and we would only show x is less than 5 because that shows the solutions for x is less than 5 or the solutions less than 3. They're included in it. And I would write that x is such that x is less than 5 is the solution. Yes, I understand. No, I don't. Is it starting to become clear? Okay. Sometimes it takes listening to it a couple times. Now, let's look at this one. Why don't you guys try and graph the next one? Try and graph the next one. All right, so somebody just asked the question, is the one on the right, is this problem an intersection? And at first they said, well, let's look up top. But then one student brought it up that notice the word and, that implies it is the intersection. Versus the other one, or, implies it is a union. Intersections are generally one line, the area of overlap. All right, so let's check our work. How'd you guys do?
Good.
Camille, where would I start this at?
Well, you put the open circle at 5.
Good.
And then put an open circle at 3.
Good.
Right.
And so what area would I be showing in my graph if I were submitting this to my teacher?
From 3 to 5.
Just from 3 to 5, I'm going to end up erasing because we only want the intersection. And then how would I write that in Set Builder? Lucas?
X and then line
Such that?
such that x is less than. I mean 5.
What do you guys think? Nicholas?
X such that x3 is less than x, which is less than 5.
Now, remember that was when we see the and, we can always write it as an in-between. Now, had you done this, x is such that x is less than 5 and x is greater than 3, I would have accepted that too. Yes?
So basically we can write x is such that and then x. So basically
You can do either of those. Okay, now, let's go on to the next one. Why don't you guys try and graph that now? Okay, so now what am I going to do here? How about Alex? Tell me what to do first.
So you put an open circle on 5.
Good, and I'm going what direction?
You are going to the left.
I'm going to the left
And then you put an open circle on 3.
on 3, and I go to the...
Right.
Now this case, this is a union. So what is the solution? What is the solution? How about Julia? All real numbers. Now listen, because I'm taking all the solutions from the red group or all the solutions from the blue group, isn't that going to be every single point on this number line? Because when I take the blue group, this one piece right here that wasn't included gets included when the red line goes through it. And this other circle here gets included when the blue line goes through it. So it's any real number. And so my equation, my number line would look like this. It would pick up every single, and we would write x is such that x is any real number. So again, that's going to be kind of a, even though it's a disjunction and should be 2 lines, we're looking at where both lines pass. Right? Yes.
so when you
Olivia.
I'm just kind of confused on, like you just explained that this function was supposed to be 2 lines.
There's a few exceptions. So look, in this case, a union, do you understand the idea of a union? It's like you're going to invite your school friends to your bat mitzvah, and you're going to invite your camp friends, or you're going to invite the people that are allowed to go are your school friends or your camp friends. They don't have to be part of both groups. You're including both groups. That's a union. So when I take this part right here, I'm going to pick up every single solution in that direction. When I pick up this point right here, I'm picking up everything in that solution. And they both go on and on forever.
Okay, so it could be any real number because they go on forever. Okay.
Yes, and they pick up, yes, Camille.
On the test, if we write like the number sign instead of writing the word number, can we do that?
That's fine. Yes.
can we write infinity symbol?
Stay away from that. Yeah.
So when you're if it asks you to graph, would you graph what it's saying at the top, or would you graph the answer?
Usually it's the answer.
Okay.
That's why you notice every drawing when I erase it, it's just showing you the answer. Right?
So that's what
It's just showing you the answer in this case. On a test, I think it's going to be a little bit clearer. Okay, in this situation, let's graph it. Go. Let's graph. So, x is greater than 5. I'm going to go in this direction, right? And the next one is x is less than 3. And is this a union or an intersection? Everybody.
Intersection.
Intersection, it has an and. So tell me, where is the intersection of those two lines, Olivia?
There is none.
Correct. There's no overlapping of the two lines. So we would just, for our set builder notation, we write that. And on my graph, what is the answer of intersection? Nothing. Because there's no area of intersection. Yes.
To erase the lines.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that might show you. Because really the graph is, I want the solution to this, is what I'm graphing. And the solution is nothing. There's no area of intersection. Yes, Vic.
So on a test, it says graph the solution, and we make our own graph. We would graph the part that intersects for an intersection and we move forward.
Yeah.
So it.
So let's keep going instead of stop talking about the test. Okay, so now what are we doing? Graph it. Graph. Sit there and graph. Don't just sit and listen. Try it again. It's not going to hurt you. Okay, Michelle? Uh-huh.
On the homework, it says something and do we have to write a solution?
Now let's finish this. X is greater than 5. It's an open circle. Okay? X is less than 3. Right? It goes here. It's a union. It's these people are invited to the party, and these numbers are invited to the party. So when I write it, I say X is such that X is greater than 5 or X is less than 3. Okay? 2 more. You guys want to try these? And I don't know if you want these for your notes. We've got the next one. Pause it. Finish up the graphs. Okay, I'm going to show X is greater than 5. X is less than, greater than 3. And so the intersection is really going to be just the red part. From here to here. That X is greater than 5. X is such that X is greater than 5.
Good afternoon, Milliken Middle School.
Okay, so now let's check our work. X is greater than 5 includes the intersection of X is greater than 3. I mean, that has where the area of overlap is. And then the last one, again, they look the same, but they have different words. So greater than 5 or greater than 3, which one shows the greater amount for the union? Yes. X is greater than what? 3. Okay, and so those are what are some of our exceptions.